customers that are calling up, and this has to do with mowing and fert and weed. This is where we hear it most of the time. We hear it sometimes on the landscaping and cleanup work, but God, y'all got done awful fast. You know, y'all were only here, 11 minutes and my yard's mowed and trimmed, and that's a lot of money for 11 minutes. Does that happen to anybody but us? I mean, just curious. I mean, realistically, does that happen to you all as much as it happens to us? And, you know, part of my sales presentation, when I'm talking to somebody about, mowing and fertilization weed control specifically, that is part of my presentation that, look, I want you to know, Miss Smith, we're not going to be here, for an hour or two mowing your lawn like, when you were doing it or your husband was doing it or, whatever. If they've not had the experience of a commercial service, providing service. And that's why it's important for you to ask, when you're starting somebody new and you're talking to them, hey, have you used a commercial service in the past or have you been doing it? And that's why we ask that question, is because if they say, well, no, I've been doing it and I just don't have time to do it. My kids are doing more involved in athletics now, and we're spending more time going to volleyball and soccer and horseback riding and all these things that they like to do. And I want to be able to tell that consumer at that point that, not immediately. I'm not saying, well, hey, by the way, we get this done in, 11 minutes or 12 minutes. And, it's not going to take us, 45 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, whatever it took you. But again, that's another question that you can ask them. Well, how long did it take, when you were doing this, how'd you mow it? Well, man, we used to push more, or we used I've got a 60-inch ZTR back there, Well, cool. Because if they had a bigger riding piece of equipment, then they're going to understand the speed at which it operates. If not, they're not going to understand that. So those two questions are questions that help us lead our sales pitch, if you will, or our conversation with the customer on, hey, we're going to be able to get this done pretty quickly, if you're not used to that. But so we just let them know that going in. Now, does that eliminate 100% of the calls? No. But we still get some that says, God, y'all were only here 11 minutes. Or I had a lady the other day say, y'all were only here 8 minutes to do my yard, And the reality of it is we can be there for a very limited amount of time, but we spend a lot. Is the job done right? That's number one. Okay. Is the job done right? Now, from a mowing standpoint, you can look at it and see if a job's done right. From a fert and weed standpoint, you're going to look at it and, say, hey, let us know if the weeds aren't dying in 5 to 7 days, let us know, that gives us the opportunity to look at it and see, what's going on. For the person that wants to be critical of, I paid a lot of money and you were only here this amount of time, the time has got nothing to do with the quality of the job, So if the quality of the job is right, then the job is right. The fact that it takes us 7 minutes, 11 minutes, or 4 days to complete it shouldn't matter. But it's
up. Respond and you could tell them, well, you tell us how long you want us to be here and we'll charge you accordingly.
Yeah. I mean, we pay a lot of money for equipment that is efficient. They may not like it as the answer. They thought you were going to, man, it took me an hour to do it and you're here 9 minutes. Well, that's why it's up to you to make part of your selling process for both mowing and fertilization and weed control, especially the fact that, hey, we're going to be able to get it done a lot more efficiently than you. It's going to be quicker. But the main thing, Miss Smith or Mr. Smith, whoever you're discussing this with, is that the job is done right and it's satisfactory, and you can rest assured that it will be with us. So, do your due diligence first and letting them know that, hey, it's going to be quicker than what they've been used to doing it.